Hello, everyone. This is a pre-recorded conversation because I am out of the office this week, but I am really excited to talk with artist Jill Johnson. Jill has been a longtime partner with the Arts Partnership, and so this is a big deal that she's coming on to share with us. So let's just jump right into it. Hello,
Well,
Jill.
hi, Dana.
How are
So
you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How about you?
I'm well too, thanks. It's good to see you. So,
You too.
Jill, let's just jump right into it. Tell us what you have been, tell us about the certification.
Well, I will do that. And first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about this because this was such a great program for me. And I think it could be really beneficial to a lot of other artists
Right.
in our community, in the state, the region. So what I took on was to gain my community teaching artist certificate from Cal State Los Angeles. And the whole thing, it was all Zoom and it was all live. And so this was great, but this is one of the very few programs in the US, and I've ended up being the only North Dakotan with this certification. And there's one person in Minnesota in the Twin Cities. So that I think the field's wide open for anybody who's interested, but it was super beneficial. So first of all, here's my certificate.
Yay!
Just yay.
It's a
So
big deal to get
that
those.
it was really fun to do this. And this program was so great because the people who worked with it were so incredibly knowledgeable. And so my professor was Dr. Destin Garnett, and he is an associate professor in art education at Cal State LA. And then he's also the president of the California Art Education Association. So, and he just, what a wealth of information and knowledge and wisdom. And what I liked so much was how affirming and validating this program was. And I was the only one from the Midwest taking this program. Everyone else was pretty much, Los Angeles area, and they're doing a lot of work to increase art experiences in the schools. In Los Angeles, they have specific departments that work with this. So that's I learned a lot with that, and a lot from the other art students as well, and a
I
lot
bet
of
you did.
established artists and teaching artists.
So, Jill, what prompted you to do this?
I have wanted to do something like this for a while,
Okay.
and I kind of kept an eye out, and then bam, one day this popped up. I think it was, I don't know if it was Facebook or email or something, and I went, oh my goodness. And it started on my birthday, and I went, well, how could it not be the correct thing? So it was really great because this program is a merger between, kind of artsy world, and gaining a different emerging sense of professionalism. So this program that Cal State is offering is really helping to make a bridge between artists, and it could be after school programs, nonprofits actually teaching in a school setting, um, community organizations, all any of those types of things. And so it's a different kind of thing where we're making this bridge between what and professionalizing it enough so that we learned about this different standards that are in education, arts and education plans. So I looked at a lot of them for California, but I also looked at them for North Dakota and Minnesota. And so the certificate, basically, here, I'll just read a little bit here. It says it's a professional oriented program developed in partnership with the city of Los Angeles. And there are three things that it really aims to do. And it works with you to develop cross-cultural connection and communication, classroom management skills, which I don't know about other artists, but that's always been really challenging for me because I don't have a teaching degree. I have, and then trauma-informed pedagogy. So we're learning a lot more about what works for people, what works in the world, what doesn't work. And what I was so struck with was how respectful this program was. And, I wasn't sure, how would I be seen, older artists, Midwest, am I going to be welcome? And people were just literally fabulous. I never felt that I didn't fit in the program. And that was just terrific. I've taken a couple other things where it's like, why am I here?
Mhm.
Why am I spending the money? And this was not like that. So it was super helpful that way.
Well, I love to hear that, but tell us, how long was the program? What did it entail, Jill?
Um, well, it was 3 hours a week
Okay.
for 2 solid months, and then we also had a lot of additional assigned homework. This was our reading stack for the first week. And
Wow.
we were supposed, the good news was we could choose items out of it and not have to do like the entire thing, but it was very intensive, very intentional. And so we came away with things, you know, by the time we were done, project outlines, so I don't know if you can see these, probably not great, but so there are lots of project outlines, and really learning how to take what it is you're doing and make it into curriculum.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know about other people, but I'm forever writing things and trying to figure it out and what's it look like. And this really created a really great framework for taking this to the next level, so that I could actually, present this to a community group or a school district or the, park department, and say, okay, here's my proposed project and here's what people will actually learn.
Yeah, the outcomes.
Yep. And lots of work around areas of respect. And we worked with a couple of different things in the core competencies, but we looked at a thing which I was not familiar with, probably other teachers here in the area would be, but universal design for learning,
Okay.
and also working backwards. And so you set your goal and then you segment it to really work backwards. And with this universal design for learning, instead of singling any person out as if they need a special accommodation, whether it's a physical disability, could be neurodivergence, could be English as a second language learner. And instead of singling people out, because kids especially, but I think adults too, I know for myself, when I feel singled out, it's like I cease to be comfortable, right? And so these techniques that we learned really help you just present things in a variety of ways, right? And so instead of doing like Bink that we're all used to, right? Like here's the one where we're learning this, we would actually come up with maybe 5 different ways to present the same information during the same lesson. And so if you have a learner who can hardly sit still on the chair, that maybe they're doing the really active thing, and you have them research something, and you do, so you fit it's very individualized. It takes, I think, an enormous amount of time, but once you've learned, this class, whether you're having a short, after school project for 6 weeks, or perhaps you're doing an in-school residency, artist in residence, this really helps you to develop rapport with the students, and to create that bridge so that they're really comfortable and can really learn and really embrace what they're learning.
Gosh, that's so exciting, Jill. That's really
It
great.
it was terrific. And I think one of the best things that I thought, I just wasn't sure what to expect initially, and super detailed syllabus from the professor, very clear expectations, and this really high degree of professionalism that I was so pleased to be exposed to. And so it was this combination of validation and professionalism, right?
Yeah.
And all these ways to say what you need to say without, like kind of being in somebody's face. Because one of my concerns, and one of the reasons for me to take this. We're kind of in this really divided world right now, and it doesn't matter which side or view, right? We're divided. And I think programs like this, at least for myself, I'm really hoping that this will help me to be able to do, that whole sense of agree to disagree and helping people find common ground again. Because we're one community, we're one country, we're one state, and we're not going to agree. So maybe we just accept that. And then how do we figure out what we can literally find common ground around? And so we had a lot of guest speakers who would show us, like literally show us. And these were speakers from around the US. So we had a New York City composer, Daniel Levy, and he has done a lot of theater work and composing, and he shared his experience. We had the art education person for the PS program, Pacific Schools in Los Angeles, in that area, Tiffany Owens, and she shared her views on how things worked. We had actor teacher Brad Kepenick, and he was absolutely fantastic. And he's worked a lot in Los Angeles, and he shared things. His presentation was just so hopeful, and really that grand sense of like thinking outside of the box and take kids outside and do the program outdoor, and just I think people I know I personally really enjoyed it. And then our last speaker was Raul Herrera, and he is with a program. He's running something called Get Lit, which is a spoken word poetry program in Los Angeles. And he also works with Tia Chucha Cultural Cafe, which is a place where they do a lot of readings and writing. And I was actually familiar with it, knew somebody who worked there. So it ended up being a much smaller world. Also, that was really interesting, I think, with that. So
this is a program for artists of all types,
yeah,
not just visual artists.
no.
Wow.
And there was a focus perhaps on visual art, but anybody really could benefit from this. One of my classmates, she worked with gardening and growing things, and this was the medium that she was teaching. And so it was very just really accessible to a lot of different modalities and mediums. So that it was great. That was great.
Well, congratulations on saying yes to this work, Jill, and
Thank you.
on getting through it.
Thank you. It was there was homework. May I just say there was literally homework every week, and that was great. That was really I really appreciated being able to do that. So, and I was just going to share a little bit, if that's all right. I came away with methods of creating work product that were, again, maybe other people have done this before, but that a lot of this was new to me. So, and again, probably doesn't show up great, but this is a syllabus that I created, and it's multi-pages. And the syllabus, along with projects, talks about learning outcomes, required materials, classroom protocol, location policies, accommodations for participants, projects, and then an actual timeline, what we're going to learn during hour one, what we're learning during hour two the next week. And so this is actually for a class that I'm going to be teaching it's the Rochester Franciscans at the Assisi Heights Spirituality Center in Rochester. And this will be a Zoom class, so it's open to everyone to take. And it's actually called Over the Water, and we're exploring cultural narratives post-immigration. And one of the things, again, this comes back to this sense of finding common ground. And so whether you emigrated here or you were already here, you've been affected by emigration and immigration, right? And so how do we take those stories, this cultural narrative, and explore deeper concepts? I'll be working with things like ambiguous loss and frozen immigrant grief, and what happens to us when this happens and it's not expressed in our families, and how do we, can we make changes now? And how do we become better citizens and friends to our neighbors who are, maybe they've been here forever, maybe they came in 1880, and maybe they just arrived last week, right? But when we understand our own stories, we really can create, I believe, better, stronger relationships in the world with each other, and respectful relationships. So, and I got so much validation really for this sense of, yay, go and do that piece. And it gave me a lot of confidence in ways I was not expecting, because I've worked with these themes for quite a while, and there just was a different sense of confidence. And we did all kinds of things. We created, one of the things that you take away by the time you're done is your actual lengthy and diverse portfolio. And so it's everything. We were taught better, different ways to make portfolios as visual artists, and it's like, no, you make like the entire page. That is the photo, and here's the little writing. I've struggled a lot with resume. It's I've done a lot of things at this point. Some are great, some are just whatever. But what do I do with that? And it's all experience. So you put it all into the resume. And it was like great, because when I've taken some other resume class, oh no, just take like 3 things, and I'm like, but then it doesn't show what I can actually do. So I think if anybody is struggling with any piece of your professional presentation, this class worked really well with that also. And we worked with marketing, and so I have ended up making a class that I would like to teach in Stockholm, Wisconsin. We'll see if that happens. And also at the Carl Oscar House in Chisago City, Lindstrom area of Minnesota. The prints that you can see behind me are actually part of this project. And so I want to take cultural knowledge and again, apply it across a broader spectrum. You don't have to be, I'm of Swedish heritage, but you don't have to be Swedish to make this project. It maybe deepens your cultural experience if you are, but it doesn't need to keep you away from learning if you're not. And so I think there are great ways that we can come together even around culture, whether we're from that group or not, without appropriating, but also with learning. And I think that, it's a delicate dance that is happening, but people who are willing to share so can do that. And so this will be part of the presentation. This is an original IKEA doll horse, and it's tattooed and it has an earring. And this, when I talk about this, lots of other things are able to come up. And then we discussed even material usage. So I like to use really good materials. So these prints are made with archival quality acrylic paint on archival acid-free paper. And what I've done is to create this process. This is a dollar horse cake pan. And so this becomes the printing block, and everybody can do it and have a successful experience and a successful interaction with culture and with art. So,
wow, Jill, this is so exciting.
It was so much fun. It was just delightful. Yeah.
Jill, can I put your email address in the body of the link so that if someone's interested, they could reach out to you to learn more?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that would be just terrific.
I was so delighted when you reached out to let us know that you had completed this.
Well,
I'm so thrilled to learn more about it today. And I look forward to other people taking some advantage of it too.
Yes.
So that we've got more curriculum built art being produced in the community and in the region.
That it's just terrific. And this will really help artists. It will help artists get hired. It will help them be professional in a school setting. You know, sometimes we have a reputation, oh, you know, the kind of flighty artist. And I think really that is kind of a misnomer, because I think to really be successful, artists really actually have to be pretty focused and dedicated.
Absolutely.
And this is one more tool in that toolkit. And this great tool helps you share with other people and bring them into your world and helps you see their world. And so just super pleased with it. Highly recommend. And it will be, it's offered in the fall. I was in the fourth cohort. So
Okay.
this was the fourth year that it's happened. Um, well worth doing, and it's through PAGE programs, which is the College of Professional and Global Education through Cal State LA. So that's how you would access it.
I will find that information and put it into the body as well. Thanks so much
Be
for
great.
joining us,
Thank you
Jill,
so
for
much, Dana.
sharing this.
Super appreciate it.
Happy end of 2022
Thank
to
you.
you and
Thank
to
you.
everybody watching.
Absolutely.
Happy New Year, and here's to more local art being supported and made and enjoyed and being used as a tool for so many areas of life in 2023. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in the new
Absolutely.
year.
Thank you.